Okay, you're on.
Alright, it's been a few days since we shot a video. We'll explain all about it. But right now it's day 24 on our trip. We can get down there. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, where we left off last time,
Oh, we didn't sleep.
that was the night afterwards. That was when we went to Alton. Anyway, very windy that day. It was Saturday. It was very choppy.
Memorial Day weekend.
Sunday, sorry.
Memorial Day weekend, a lot of boats. Probably saw about 300 boats that day, and a lot of big boats like yachts.
Yeah.
Like 40, 45 foot, even some 50 foot yachts, and definitely houseboats.
Yeah.
Oh, the boaters gawking at us.
Yeah. We don't know if we mentioned it before on our last video, but boaters really like to stare.
They're very selfish.
Yeah, they're very selfish. They like to get right up close to you, and
They look down at you and then they wave like everything's okay, and then you drive by and they leave.
one actually headed right for us. I remember this now. It went about 20 feet in front of us, going at like
probably about a 45 foot yacht.
yeah, going probably 25 miles an hour.
Left a huge wake, probably about as tall as Justin.
Yeah. It was very windy that day. Very, very windy. It's always windy on weekends when boats are out.
Yeah, blowing in our face the entire day.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was probably worse than Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Because everyone around us I know knows Lake Michigan. Carp. Man, there are carp that love to fly. One actually, it actually flew about, like, you see how tall I am. It probably flew as tall as I am.
Actually, it's right on this side of the.
No, I'm talking about the
on
one
other
I
side.
saw.
Oh, okay.
One that I saw, it seriously just went from one side and just arched about 5 feet in the air. And then the second one, it actually hit the canoe.
We were just paddling along and we felt a jolt in the bottom of the canoe, and then out flies this fish. It was probably about that big,
Yeah,
about
probably
that
that
round.
long.
Hits my paddle, shears off the paddle, changes
It
direction,
just flies like this
and then
back
just
in the
flies
water.
sideways back in the water. It was intensely scary and hilarious at the same time.
Apparently they can knock you out.
Yeah.
They're just jumping around. Went through Alton, Illinois.
Oh, the kid giving us a ride. You talked about.
Yeah,
We made lunch under an overpass, under a bridge.
in Alton, Illinois.
In
Yeah.
Illinois, we had some chicken rice with some turkey spam and the usual junk.
Yeah, and
We got stared at the whole time, and finally one kid decided to come up, and he was probably about my age, and he asked us where we were going and what was going on and stuff, and I ended up telling him we were going to the gas station to get some water, and he actually offered us a ride, so he gave us a ride all the way to the gas station, saved us about 20 minutes, maybe even a little more.
because we ended up walking back after we got all of our supplies. Our, I shouldn't say supplies, just our water. You know.
That was it.
We walked back, and it was about 3 p.m. probably.
Yeah, that's
3:30.
right.
And we took off in the canoe, went through the worst lock ever. What's the current? Could have been the current. Well, anyway, we went on the wrong side of the lock because it's completely confusing.
Yeah,
It's the only lock that actually has covers on the top that I can remember.
normally when you lock on the left side, far left lock is the lock you lock through, and the one to the right of it's the auxiliary. This was set up backwards. So we
Yeah.
actually had went to the auxiliary lock first, pulled the lock, and the guy said Mel Price because that was the lock name. It wasn't actually a number. It was actually named after somebody.
Yeah, it's weird.
And then he's like, well, why don't you just paddle, or he didn't say paddle, he said, why don't you just pull over to the next lock, we'll lock in on the big one.
You probably didn't know you were in a paddle canoe because the current was going at least 5 miles an hour against us.
Yes, it was probably almost a 5-minute ordeal trying just to move over 40 feet.
Yeah, moved back 30 and just over 10.
Yes.
And then we coasted in. And a lot of debris. A lot of debris.
Logs and just
Foam,
everything.
and it's bad.
Dead fish. Yeah.
So we pressed on. Okay, I guess occasionally we see these buoys or channel markers. They're always the green ones. They're never the red ones.
Never the red ones, just the green ones. They're,
And,
they're the ones that mark the shipping lanes for the barges.
Yeah, the green ones mean stay to the right, and the red ones mean stay to the left. If you're coming down, that is. Anyway, we first noticed this. It looked like a marker was kind of sinking a little bit. You're like, okay, it's pretty buoyant. It goes completely underwater. The current water level doesn't change. It just completely goes underwater.
The current just sucks it under.
And then it stayed there. Actually, we saw at least 3 of them.
For like sometimes 5 minutes. We'll look back when we're past it and it's still underwater.
Yeah, we don't even know if they come back up. We actually
no
think
idea.
they might be DNR submarines.
DNR submarines. That's our theory. That they're watching in these buoy-like periscopes.
Yeah.
They're watching all the boaters, but that's probably not true. But we like to think that it is.
Yeah. We talk about another thing we encountered on the lake and today. This is a long video.
Yeah.
The wind. Okay, imagine that the wind is blowing at the left side of your boat. Okay, you'd automatically think that you'd want to go to the right
To compensate.
to compensate, but no, somehow the wind blows the waves, or maybe it's just the wind or just the waves, who knows. The canoe automatically wants to go the opposite direction of the way
the
the
waves
wind's
were
blowing.
coming at an angle like this, and we're trying to go straight. But as the wind blows, it pushes us in this like wave trough, and you can't get out of it because when the wind's gusting at 15 miles an hour, the waves are like 3 or 4 foot high, and you really just get sucked right into that little.
It's the opposite of what you would think.
Yeah, it's
Completely crazy.
It was exhausting there actually
Yeah.
for a while.
Especially today.
Mhm.
Back to the locks. It was probably around 4 o'clock we went to the Mel Price Dam, or Lock and Dam. We were cruising along. It's kind of industrious because we're getting outside St. Louis. And, well, it says all boaters go to the left. Like all boats, you saw barges coming
Yeah, it
out
said
of there.
all boats take this channel. Enter here.
Like,
Big arrow.
and so it's a pain in the butt getting over there again.
Because the current was so strong.
Yeah, and we actually got in it. The current was flowing backwards.
It's about a half mile an hour in reverse.
Yeah.
And this was at the end of our day, so this is after paddling 11 hours through the windy lake with all the annoying boaters, working our butts off trying to get to the next lock. I mean, this is the end of the day, so we're tired, okay? Like
Yeah, very hot day.
We were pretty run down. So we get to this channel,
And
which- oh gosh,
yeah, you move very slowly when the current's going against you.
about 2.5 miles an hour,
Yeah,
3
so
at best. when you're
We
working
stopped
hard.
moving for a little bit. We went backwards. That's pretty bad. And I checked the maps, the Army Corps maps again, and I actually noticed that the channel was about 8 miles long. Terrific. And
The lock was actually separate from the dam.
yeah, the lock was in this separate channel, and then there was a piece of land, probably a levee or something.
Yeah, it was a big levee.
And then the main river flowed into a low water dam, which we probably could have made it through it, or portaged around
But it
it.
advises not to.
It
do
advises not to. So it took us probably 3 hours to go up this damn channel.
8 miles, which now today we could do that in an hour
In
and
an
10
hour.
minutes.
Yeah. So 3 hours, 3.5 hours maybe. And we wanted to make it up there.
It was about probably 40 minutes after sunset when we finally arrived. It was completely dark. We pulled into the lock, which was a 1,200 foot lock, I think.
Yeah, it was very big.
So this is our third one, I think, if I
And
can
this,
remember.
the lock lady,
She was nice.
she was nice. Well, first of all, we were planning on canoeing all night to make it to our layover in St. Genevieve in the morning. So I know it sounds crazy, but we were going to do that. So we told the lady that we were just going to camp on the other side so she wouldn't want to say anything or whatever. And she actually had us pull up to the one side so she could take a bunch of pictures of us.
Which was kind of weird.
It's
She
very
just
weird. She just
sat at the rail and just kind of was snapping pictures with her.
She asked us, but she took
SLR.
pictures for at least 10 minutes, and she said, "Oh, I'll take it slower," which is probably just to prolong her time. She's pretty weird, but she was nice. She was very nice.
So-
And
The lock opened up, and we headed out into the main river again, and started flowing very nicely. And he proceeded to.
no, we just kept going.
We just kept going.
I tried napping in the canoe.
He
Probably
attempted, but it didn't work.
didn't
He
work.
tried to rest his eyes for 10 minutes, knowing we'd be going all night, or planning on going all night, which you'll hear about in a second. And he couldn't really fall asleep.
Yeah. St. Louis you can see in the distance, which is pretty
You
nice.
could see the arch and everything. It looked like a nice city from far away, but
Very, very much did so. But if anyone sees this,
it's moving along.
I know, if anyone's planning on doing that channel or canoeing this river, have fun and do that at the beginning of your day, the 6 mile, 8 mile channel that's backwards. It
Yeah,
sucks.
you'll have more
Army Corps,
energy.
Army Corps, you poorly designed it.
Poorly designed that.
Very poorly, just so you know. Okay, so we paddled through the city, arch, we took pictures of the arch. That's the only magnificent thing really
Well, we
about
pulled up on a flooded waterfront park first. It was basically a road we parked on that was underwater.
Yeah, it was like this. the
Yeah,
road.
and the statue is up to its neck. It sits at the riverfront
It's very
park.
weird
It looked
seeing
hilarious.
it. We pulled up in this kind of like the ghetto.
It was definitely sketchy.
Very
sketchy
sketchy.
for sure.
Something's going down. It's very nice. Pulled up, parked our canoe, took all of our valuables, of course.
So we're two white guys walking around at night with a little baggie full with $400 plus worth of electronics. Probably
Yeah,
the safest thing we could have done.
yeah. Walked to the arch, took pictures. Best part of the city is
Best
honestly
part of the
the
city
arch.
is the arch.
And we proceeded to find a food place.
Because we had eaten a long time ago and it was already at midnight. Because normally we're in bed by 9 o'clock, so we don't get any hunger.
Yeah.
But we figured if we're going to go all night, we need some fuel.
Yeah, no places in downtown St. Louis. Like
No.
any other city you'd imagine, thered be some food places, McDonald's, something. Not even a grocery store.
We were just looking for a coffee initially and couldn't even find that.
Yeah. So a car sped down the road at 110 miles an hour.
6 cops were proceeding to chase it. I don't think they were ever
It blew
successful.
4 stoplights. Pretty scary.
Met a nice kid that worked at the arch. He was able to help us out a little bit.
Yeah, and pretty scared. Pretty scary stuff, even downtown St. Louis.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you want to see the city, go see the city. We ended up eating at
At
a
a
casino,
casino.
which was very weird being in because we looked like garbage.
Right.
Got a $5 hamburger, relaxed for about 20 minutes, and then pressed on. Went back to our canoe, which was still there, past the tourist parts, which they were all partying.
We ran into a guy who was super strung out on something, and he had never canoed before and just wanted to take our canoe across this river at night, and
He would have died.
he would have died. He was messed up on something. I don't know what it was, and we pretty much just tried to get out of there as fast as we could in hopes that nothing would happen and we wouldn't set him off. So
Yeah.
we headed out of St. Louis at probably
I think it was close to 2.
2 in the morning.
Yeah. Current was moving so fast.
So fast, probably 8.5, almost 9 miles an hour.
Yeah, and they like to park the barges, at least this time, 10 away from the river. So it narrowed the river by at least a quarter mile.
Quarter mile, yeah, and
And
that's
we-
on both sides usually.
Yeah, so we got out of this bridge and we almost hit these 10 parked
Because
barges.
it's 2 in the morning and we cannot see.
Yes, not very smart.
No, it was a bad idea.
I'm gonna go check the memory and make sure it's still good.
Okay, so we kept on rolling, and we paddled through, and we were passing barges. We passed a couple barges, and
13 minutes.
we wanted to stay out of their spotlight because we didn't want them to alert other barges and let them know that we were there.
They'd be worried about us.
Because we knew they'd be worried about us, but we could handle it. We were staying as close to the barges as we can. They're not, or the barges that were parked that we could,
Yeah.
and they're not gonna, nothing's gonna happen.
So, see all these red and gold lights moving?
They just
no,
blink.
yellow and green lights. Yellow light blinks and the green one. They just all start moving. And they move
That's-
very slowly.
That is all you can see. It's pitch black. All you see are these little lights. So it's hard to gauge how far they are, how
And-
fast they're moving,
and where they're exactly moving.
and where they're going. It's impossible.
We saw at least 12 of those lights, so about 6 barges moving simultaneously.
6 barges moving with a cargo load probably 6 deep.
Yeah.
So they're super long, and they're going as fast as they can, probably attempting to get Memorial Day off,
Yeah, which was Monday.
which was the next morning.
Yeah. So all was going well. It's kind of scary, big waves, until we got about 15 feet next to this barge, maybe 20 tops.
I mean, honestly, like I could have probably jumped and made it almost on deck. That's how
Yeah.
close we were. And this guy was gunning it. He was like full throttle trying to push these barges. And these waves, we probably like this.
They were 10 feet. I would go up, and I just drop. I actually lost my stomach. That's how scary.
All I would see is his head just raising above me, probably like an angle like this, and then boom, just drop and smack.
And the thing
water.
was, we thought we'd clear that barge in the first place, but he angled back.
He angled backwards.
And so his wake actually hit the other parked barges and just kind of went.
Oh, it was huge.
Was very bad.
I was so scared out of my life. Honestly.
And the thing was is that we couldn't see those waves first, and then he spotted us.
he
Shined his light, and then he moved it off of us, and we were kind of blinded, which is very smart to shine right at us. And next thing we saw were these
scary
10-foot waves, at least 7 or 8 10-foot waves.
Oh gosh, they were huge.
I know it's sorry, barge captains. You know, we worried you out. We would have made it fine, honestly. We would have been completely fine. And he alerted everyone else, and they were all just spotlighting
they
us.
all were just searching for us.
I felt like
searching
we
for this
were
little
like
canoe
escaping from prison.
From prison, yeah, that's almost what it felt like.
Yeah, you don't even know how many spotlights we got. Spotlight.
And these spotlights are the brightest lights you've ever seen in your life. You look at them for a second,
and
you're blind. You're blind for like 10. That's exactly how they are.
Yeah, and some of them just kept shining on you.
So we continued to paddle on, racing, probably going 8.5 miles an hour. Barges that are parked we're flying by them.
Yeah, very fast.
And then this one barge had their spotlight on us. They finally had found us after searching for us for a couple minutes. And one of the deckhands got on deck and they yelled,
"Everyone who has kids, censor your ears, because we're gonna cuss you."
Yeah.
First time in the video. Okay.
The deckhand yelled, "Get off the river!" Pause. "Get the fuck off the river. You're gonna get yourselves killed."
Very, very aggressively, by the way. Not like he said. It was very...
No, it was very like, if you don't do this, I will get in a little dinghy and come beat you up. That's kind of what it sounded like.
Yeah, so we skedaddled off the river.
That's the first thing I said is we need to go right now. We need to go camp.
Right to our right was just a small spot for our tent, actually.
The first spot we had seen to camp, actually.
They're all port lights on all ports. So we got to camp there. It was about 3:20.
And we were super stressed out. My shoulders were so tense just from all that craziness.
Yeah, very scary. Not recommended by anybody.
We're never doing that again.
Especially by a city where every boat and barge ports.
Yes. On a holiday weekend.
Yes. We can just talk about. We had woke up at 5 so we could get to St. Genevieve early. We had a layover there for a
couple days.
Yeah, we were further than we thought from St. Genevieve. We were about 40 plus miles away. Probably 40, 47, 48 miles away. So we stopped in St. Genevieve for a day and a half. Resupplied, got re-energized, refueled and everything.
Yep.
And we left there this morning. Made probably 73, 74 miles today.
Yeah, we went very far today, and we're probably going to try to maintain that.
We started an hour and a half behind schedule.
Yeah.
We still made those miles, so we'd be about 80 miles had we not been an hour and a half behind.
So we are actually planning on almost cutting our home arrival in half.
Yeah, from 4 weeks to 2 weeks and a day.
Well, what is that?
Wow. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we're probably going to be, tomorrow will be about 15, 16 days away from our arrival down in Venice, Louisiana.
Yeah, which is 10 miles away from the end of the Mississippi River.
Yes.
We have a beautiful spot right here.
Now, I don't know if anyone can see it, but it's the river right there.
Yeah,
on the beach. Yes.
It's rushing very quickly. And sun setting behind the clouds, and yeah, good day.
That's it, really.
Yep. Hopefully the video's still running. How long do we have? It wasn't flashing red or anything. It was like it's probably 15 minutes of video. It doesn't say full, does it?
No.
Good.